And you've done it not just once, but you've done it twice. So this is the big question that I wanted to ask you. People that have started a food or beverage brand, especially in recent years, and know just how challenging it is, will be questioning, why on earth would you go and do a second one so quickly? What was the reasoning behind having two? And was it the right decision?
Yeah, really good question, actually. Something that, played on my mind for quite a long time. So Love Cocoa was going really well. It's profitable. A couple of years ago, we had a really good couple of years, and then we saw but Love Cocoa, just for your listeners, it's more sort of luxury. It's higher in the market. We're in department stores. Eventually, we want to launch our own stores, so something similar to Tastehead, but in a different way. But in terms of sort of growth, unless you have your own stores, there is a sort of a cap and a ceiling with that. You're against lots of really old heritage brands, and it's hard to be able to grow super quick unless you're a grocery brand. But we really didn't want to have Love Cocoa in grocery. It wasn't, it's a great brand. It tastes great, but going to grocery, you need to have a lot of money or something completely different about your product. And it wasn't quite the right route for us as a brand. And then I guess the hit came from an idea. Lots of people in the office started to drink Oatly, and rather than us going to get sort of cow's milk, start of the week sort of thing, we were getting oat milk. And led me to think, looking around, is anybody putting oat in chocolate? There's a few sort of vegan milk chocolates, but most of them were like rice-based or coconut-based, and a few almond-based as well. And I bought everyone, and everyone tasted rubbish, a bit like the milk. So I think oat is the best alternative. It tastes the most similar to cow's milk. It's very creamy. And also it's very sustainable. So that led me to thinking, can we put that in chocolate? So we started to look at that, and realised that yes, we can. So we developed that for about 6 months. And for that, it was thinking, we've created this product, but do we create a new brand name, or do we put it under Love Cocoa name? We already started to create a bit of brand equity with Love Cocoa as being a sort of luxury brand, and sort of suddenly having a vegan product which you're going to put into a grocery store you'd lose that brand equity. So similar to, I get bits like Thornton's when they 20, 30 years ago, they went from having their own stores to suddenly going into Tesco's and selling the product half price on promo. So sort of learned from that and thought, we have to have a separate brand. We want to create this vegan brand and have it, have its own set of values, and it just has to be different. So that was the real reason. It was different. It's chocolate, but they are very different brands, and who we're targeting. So it made more sense to create two separate. With that, though, just came a lot of additional work. There's not double the work, but there is a lot more work, and it it is really challenging, and it does take a lot of time and sort of brain space as well. So I think ideally, I'd recommend most people have one brand, but we just thought the opportunities was to have the two, and has helped us grow and raise investment and whatever else. It was the right decision, but it is challenging. It's just, I think that's that brain space as well, to have enough time to dedicate to both brands, and it's something that constantly working on to try and improve how I separate my time and do that better.
Yeah, and it makes sense as well, because you do see some people try and stretch a brand too much, and obviously, like you say, it is a lot more work, but not double the work. I'm guessing the shared resources, whether it's team members, assets, certainly experiences from Love Cocoa that have made you probably do things at HIP sort of quicker, better, easier, maybe second time round. So it does make sense to the benefits or the opportunity.
I've seen the experience of it when I was at Whole Earth Foods and Green and Blacks, and so Whole Earth was the original brand. But that was no sugar, etc. All the products, and varied from sort of like jams, but maybe with apple juice and cereals and tin food and frozen food. But when Craig and Joe wanted to start Green and Blacks, it being chocolate, it needed sugar in it. Now you can get some no sugar ones now, but then it had sugar, and it was also, rather than something that was very sort of not worthy but whole foods, is more of a luxury thing. It was chocolate, so they created Green and Black. So I've seen a similar thing, and that worked. And I think for the same reason, HIP works, because you wanted to separate it out, and it would have been harder, I think, if you kept it under the same brand especially in the communication side of things.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's the main reason. It was the communications. We wanted to have a vegan brand and, have a tone of voice, communications, slightly different packaging as well. Love Coco's more sort of luxury, probably targeting slightly older people, whereas Hip is definitely a younger vibe in terms of the packaging, branding, or whatever else. So, and again, also spreads a bit of risk. So being, a young entrepreneur, having two brands, if one doesn't take off as well as I want for any reason, then at least we've got two sort of things. So I think that also spreads a little, helps in terms of spreading risk. So I think there's a number of reasons we did it, and it sort of makes sense at the moment. But it's just, there's quite a lot of work, which I didn't quite realise.
Well, fair play to you. I don't think we'll be starting a second agency anytime soon. But